welcome to Murder of Crows. This is going to be a true crime series where I look at all manner of criminal endeavours and look at the heinous, deplorable people that commit the crimes. And first off, we're looking at this arsehole, Gregory Green. There has long been a debate over nature and nurture and whether the people who commit these acts are born evil or become so as a result of their environment. Some people commit acts so heinous that you can't help but think that evil runs right through them like a stick of seaside rock. Gregory Green is such an individual. He was born on the 10th of December 1966. And very little is known about his early life other than he attended church regularly and religion was a big presence in his life, but very little else is known. But given the rage and anger that followed him throughout his life, one can only imagine that his early life must have held some challenges. But very little is known up until the age of about 23, where he met his first wife, Tonya. As is pretty typical of men of his ilk, he was initially superficially charming and wormed his way into Tonya's life. But after their marriage, this soon changed. And Tonya was heard to confide in a friend that she didn't know why things had changed. By 1991, Tonya was pregnant, and having seen that the pregnancy hadn't changed the controlling ways that were getting worse and worse and worse, she decided that she was going to leave him. On the 14th of July 1991, Tonya was now 6 months pregnant, and she had intended to attend church that morning and then return home, grab some things and leave him once and for all. But Green, as we know, was full of anger and rage and was incredibly controlling, so much so that he was kind of like a low-budget dictator. I'm surprised he didn't just change his name to Pol Pot Noodle or something. So, unable to let her go and relinquish that control, he instead took a steak knife and stabbed her in the face and chest multiple times. And the result of this was that both she and her unborn baby were tragically killed. This is a sickening and abhorrent crime, but to my mind, it is what Green goes on to do in the future in his second criminal endeavour that truly marks him out as a man who is evil and of unconscionable crimes. For his crime, Green was convicted of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 15 to 25 years in prison. Now, in prison, Green was considered something of a model prisoner, but rehabilitation is about more than surface behaviour. So when he originally came to apply for parole, he was denied several times. In 2006, the parole board said that Green was still unable to explain his murderous rage and showed no particular level of empathy or responsibility for his actions. But despite the parole board's reservations, Green retained the support of the church community, and Pastor Fred Harris from his church wrote to the parole board supporting Green's release on a couple of occasions, and one of the letters is shown here. Dear Sirs, this is a letter of support for Mr. Gregory Green. Gregory and I were friends before his mishap. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back up there, Sally Ann! A mishap? A fucking mishap? No. I'm sorry, a mishap is tripping over in the street, or thinking you're going to fart and then shitting your pants. A mishap is not, I repeat, not killing one's own family in a kill-crazy rampage. I'm sorry, rant over. Following his parole, he deepened links with the church community, and it was through the church community that he met Faith Harris. And Faith was the daughter of Pastor Fred Harris, who had supported his release, and the two later got married. In getting married, Green then became stepfather to Faith's two children, Cara and Chadney, and the couple went on to have two children of their own, two daughters called Coy and Kaylee. And even though he was attempting to appear as the poster child for prison reform, behind closed doors, somewhat unsurprisingly, Green's controlling ways and temper tantrums continued. With ongoing angry outbursts and tantrums, including kicking the couch that his own baby was sleeping on, it was clear that something in this pressure cooker environment had to give. Faith filed for divorce in 2013, but presumably through superficial charm and love bombing, they reconciled, only for her to file for divorce again in 2016. And it seems that this time she truly did mean it. But for a controlling man like Green, again, he was not prepared to let that happen. And while the first crime involved him hurting his wife, this time he had something far more sinister in mind. Gregory Green was not prepared to have his control taken away, so in early September of 2016 he began buying supplies from Home Depot, including hoses, zip ties. Green began his horrendous assault by binding and gagging his wife Faith in the basement. He then rigged his car with a hose pipe leading into the car from the exhaust pipe, and then put his two daughters into that car, slowly poisoning them with carbon monoxide. But not satisfied with this, he returned to the basement, where he shot Faith in the leg and then attacked her face with a box cutter. Still not finished, he then shot Faith's other two children in the head while she was forced to watch. Green then called 911 himself, as before, to report what he had done. while I could conceivably accept that the murder of his first wife, Tonya, was committed in the moment and was an act of passion, and in fact the court also believed that, as he was convicted of second-degree murder. But with the second criminal endeavour, there were any number of times that he could have changed his mind and not gone through with it. And equally, the buying of supplies in advance shows a clear premeditation of what he was intending. So it is his second crime, or crimes, that truly make him incredibly evil and arguably a psychopath. It's clear to me that all of Green's actions on the 21st of September 2016 were designed with the sole intention of causing Faith as much suffering as possible. After being found criminally responsible and competent to stand trial in early 2017, Green was convicted of torture, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, and 4 counts of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to a minimum of 47 years in prison, so he will be 97 before his earliest date of possible release. I don't think anyone deserves the final say on this piece of shit more than Faith, who experienced more suffering that day than just about anyone I could ever imagine. And this is what she had to say at the sentencing hearing.
Please state your name for the record.
Faith Green.
Okay.
Go ahead, Your Honor. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with the outcome. There's no punishment that fits the crime. Not even torture and death would be justice. Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity, for murdering 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure as a man. Plus the other 2 lives you took. You are a con artist, you are a monster, you are a devil in disguise. You are now forever exposed. I've thought over and over again what I would say, even though it doesn't even matter. First of all, I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do. What you tried to do didn't work. I am and was a damn great mother to all of my children. I was their mother and father. I'm the one who took out the time with each and every one of them. I taught them how to do things as well as people in my family and friends.
Thank you for watching Murder of Crows. I'm intending to release at least 1 new true crime video every week. So if that's your kind of thing, then by all means subscribe and do all of that good stuff that doesn't cost you a penny. I'm Steve, and I'll see you when I see you.
Say that you're ready, but you won't like it. You say that you're ready, but you won't like it.